I would like to invite our first group of students from Sophia University, Japan, to share their learning experiences in the COVID-19 pandemic.
Are we connected? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we hear.
So, hello everyone. We are Sophia University in Japan. I'm Futaba Yonekura, a first-year student at the Faculty of Law. I'm Karin Tanigawa, a first-year student at the Faculty of Global Studies. Nice to see you all. First, I'll introduce about our university. Sophia is an English name of our university. The Japanese name is Jochi Daigaku. It was founded by Jesuits in 1913 for a mission to establish bridges between Japan and the world. And it's located in the heart of Tokyo. Sophia University is a pioneer in international education in Japan, and we have worldwide network with 378 partner universities from 78 countries. And our educational philosophy is men and women for others with others. This summer, there are a lot of active learning programs online. For example, Global Leadership Program, AJUK AP Service Learning Program, and Learn from Africa, and so on. And one of these is our program, Social Economy and Human Development Study of India, Kerala study of case study of Kerala model. This program was open for 7 days from August 23rd to August 30th. It was divided into two parts, morning session from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. and afternoon session from 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. In morning session, we interacted with people from domestic facilities related to Kerala, Vedanta Society of Japan, Embassy of India in Japan, Global Indian International School, Nihon Kairari, professor at Sophia University from Kerala, and Indian traditional dance performer, Miss Hiromi Maruhashi. This interaction with Global Indian International School on Zoom. They showed us some traditional performance. It is Indian traditional dance lecture from performer Miss Hiromi Maruhashi. It is a lecture from Professor Sari Augustine from Sophia University and Professor Cyril Beriato also from Sophia University. And we ate Indian lunch every day during this program. And in afternoon session, we took lectures by professor at St. Teresa College. We lectured a lot of, we learned a lot of things about Kerala, and we could also ask a lot of questions about Kerala and India. Through this program, we could establish good relationship between Sophia University and St. Teresa College.
From now on, I will introduce what we learned from this program by participating online. The advantages of online studies are written here. We could cost down, we were able to reduce travel time, so we had more time to spend for study. For example, we could learn about India from various perspectives, not only from India, but also from Japanese. I think this kind of study will help us establish practice, so it was a very good way to study. These are the points of improvement of online studies. For example, due to the time difference of audio and video, it is difficult for online programs to grasp the timing of speaking. One third solution that we suggest is we should speak more possibly in online programs. Then from this experience, what we suggest for the study in the future is we should improve some points of online studies in order to make comfortable environment for study. Because the end of the battle against coronavirus is not being fight, so online studies may become standard of the way to study. Also, we should keep continuing to incorporate various perspectives to online studies. So this will help us to abolish prejudice even it's tough time to have relationship with people in another countries. Also, I think that continuing online studies even after corona pandemic is over will help us help a lot of children who cannot go to school for various reasons. For example, because their girls, they live in war zones, they have disabilities. These are our pictures of certain studies. So, as a theme of our session is post-COVID classroom, our online study program was a good experience to study. We are happy to meet all the students and faculty from all the Jesuit universities from Asia. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our students from Sophia University. For our next round of students, we will have the students from Ateneo de Manila.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Jeremy Teo from the Ateneo de Manila University, and today I will be talking about how we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic as Ateneans. So I'm going to be discussing 4 points here: the result of the online learning situation here in our university. Next is also the situation of the online setting and what changed there. And third is the new online lifestyle that we now have as a result of the pandemic. And fourth is the potential school life that can happen post-COVID. So here, and the results of online learning, you can see we have 4 different aspects of it here. But first, I'd like to talk about the Loyola School's online learning community, which is a community made by teachers and students together to be able to really discuss about the different setups that we have in depth. And an example of this would be one teacher asking students if they preferred having classes taken quarterly or having classes taken in a semestral basis. And we got a breadth of responses there from students and teachers alike, because some classes are better enjoyed as quarterly classes and some classes are meant to be enjoyed as semestral classes. And next, I'm going to be talking about the quality of learning being volatile, because we have to view it from 2 lenses here. One being the lens of the teacher and the student. On the side of the teacher, it's a bit difficult to really have an absolute gauge for the quality of learning, because it really depends on how the teachers have how the teachers teach students, because the teaching styles may have changed during the pandemic in this online platform. And next is also how well they can utilize the learning management system, or Canvas, because some teachers are able to adjust pretty well, and some teachers are still trying to get used to it. And thirdly is also about the requirements we're getting, and how well the feedback system is for students to also talk about the issues they face in the class. And for the side of students, we really have here, the quality of learning for students would depend on their motivation, the study habits, current workload, and cramming, because we also have a lot of like external circumstances that are affecting each and every student individually, and we can't quite like talk about that in general. And one overall problem that we've also been facing here is that there is low morale for both teachers and students, because if we're being really honest, we do miss face-to-face classes. But on the other hand, teachers have been also really empathetic and understanding for students' needs, and this has been a great help for us, because we all have different struggles outside academics. An example of this would also be having students whose internet connections are not so good, and one of my professors made his content accessible either on YouTube or through PowerPoints. So we didn't have to strictly attend his synchronous lectures, because he had experiences of some students only having 3 gigabytes of data every month, and we couldn't quite use it all for the synchronous classes because that would be too much. So it's the little things like this that have just made the experience so much better than it would have ended up being if nothing changed. Next, we're also going to be talking about the situation in the online setting. One, mainly is that students and employees cannot go to campus, so we absolutely do not have face-to-face classes. And yeah, I'm not going to comment too much on that right now, but next, we also digitize the processes in the university. So a lot of document submission, assignment submission, and like processes for changing majors or adjusting your classes are all now done online. Lastly, activities and initiatives are also done online for student organizations, or also talks and workshops that teachers may initiate. And even for my own organization, the Ateneo Student Exchange Council, a lot of our activities are now done online. But how we cope with the pandemic? If we think about this question, there's two ways that I personally also cope up with the pandemic. And one of them is really through online hangouts, which we usually do either with a circle of friends or through the online communities created by the organizations of Ateneo. So an example of this would be through Discord or Zoom, so we can study together, we can even eat food together, exercise together, even if we're all in our different houses. So one advantage of this is really how we can meet people in the online setting, even if we can't see each other in person, because it's so hard to make friends through the lectures or through the classes, because when everyone just feels so tired right after they leave a class. And I can guarantee you, when you end a class, you don't wait for people to remain and just talk to them and reach out. The first thing you're going to do when you leave a class, or when a class ends, is press leave meeting. Next, the other advantage of online hangouts is how we can hop in and hop out at our own convenience. Next, here, as you can see, there's a photo of me with my other friends from the organization. I think some of them are here too, so I'm going to say hi to them. Hello, everyone. Next, here is also setting personal time. So this really helped me adjust also with the COVID pandemic, because it helped me have some time for myself where I don't think too much about the responsibilities I have to do. Because it also feels pretty restrictive if you're in your room all day looking at a screen. So it's good to find some time to do things away from screens. So an example of this is where you can learn more about yourself and your interests by trying an instrument or learning new skills. Recently, I've been learning the bass guitar, and I think it's the best decision I ever made. And another way, or another benefit, I should say, to setting your own personal time to do things is to help deal with cabin fever. Next, I'm going to talk about how we imagine school post-COVID. As much as we'd like everyone to be able to go back to campus right away, it's a bit difficult to really see that anytime soon because of COVID still being around and not being fully eliminated. But one thing we can imagine happening pretty soon, or should I say the next 2-3 years, is hybrid setup, where some students can have the luxury of taking classes online, and some students who are fully vaccinated and have the capacity to do so can study in campus. So this would, of course, need a limited capacity of students in campus. And another goal, or not goal, but rather another interesting point that could be up for discussion, is to have a mix of semestral and quarterly classes to fit the needs of the different teachers and classes together. And if we're having online classes and in-person classes, there will definitely be a need to improve the university's digital infrastructure to ensure that both students in online classes and in-person classes receive the same quality of education. But another advantage that we have with school post-COVID is that having all these Zoom lectures and all these online classes has opened up the realm of possibility for guest speakers to really help us and enhance our learning, so we can learn from professionals without worrying too much about the logistics. And one last point that we also learned about online learning is that it's also an interesting way to learn through interactive events. So it's a good mix to have interactive events and lectures together. So that is the end of my discussion. Thank you so much, everyone, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you very much to the students of Ateneo de Manila.